here with a new survival video, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a bow with PVC pipe. And this might be used to hunt your next meal, or if you need to defend yourself. Alright, so let's get down and let's start working. Alright, so first you're going to need Schedule 40 PVC. This is 3/4 of an inch, and it's made in America, which this is important. Alright, so this is 5 feet, and 10 feet of this costs around $2.50 at Home Depot. And then you're going to want to cut notches at the ends, which I'm going to show you how to do. And then after that, you're going to need 3 driveway markers, or you could use 4, or as many as you want. Just the more you use, the bigger the PVC pipe will be, or the less you use, the smaller PVC pipe will be. So I'm using 3, and then one of these, one of the driveway markers, you're going to want to cut in half. So I have it cut down here, and these are about 4 feet when you buy them at the store. There's my dog barking. So now that you got it done like this, you gotta cut. While you're cutting it, you're gonna probably wear gloves because it's fiberglass splinters, and the splinters, a lot of people won't mind it. And if you're in a survival situation or in a post-apocalyptic situation, you're not gonna really mind the splints because there's gonna be bigger problems than the little splinters. Alright, but if you're doing this for fun, wear gloves, or if you don't have gloves, you could buy gloves or use a leather pad. And then so right now this will set you about $8.50, and then with the paracord, which this I got 50 feet for $2.50. Alright, so that's setting you at around $11, and then tape. So in all, this will cost you about $15 if you're buying everything, but if you have it ready, it's not going to really cost you as much. But I got the tape's going to cost you about $4, and this is what you're going to use for your bow, but you can use other things. You don't have to use paracord, you can use sinew. Tape got stuck to my leg. Alright, so let's start putting this together. After let's finish these. Arrows. Arrows are over here. Argo. Alright, so arrows, these are the arrows I'm going to shoot. A rat tail file, a marker, a Swiss Army knife, or a Swiss Army knife is used if you don't have a saw. I'm using a hacksaw or a knife, and the Swiss Army knife is a very reliable survival tool. Alright, so let's get down and let's start working. Alright, so first, let's start working over here. Maybe let's just work here. Okay, so here's this, and let's get the rat tail file. Alright, so let's just move it down further in the shades because it's going to be easier to see. So you're just going to want to, with your rat tail file, carve a knock into the end, or a notch into the end of your PVC. Argo. That's my dog, Argo. He's barking at the neighbor's dog. Alright, so you just want to first cut the notch, and then you want to frown the notch. Make it into a sad face. And then, if you turn it upside down, it becomes happy. And then you're going to want to align it with exactly on the other side. And this, I forgot to say, but with your tape measure, here's my tape measure. This is one of the tools that you're going to want to use. You're going to want to mark 1 inch from the top of the PVC, and that's where you're cutting the groove. And then exactly to the other side, you're gonna want to cut the same. Alright, so it has to be exactly marked to the other side, and this is. Then you just want to cut the notch in. I'm just cutting these a little deeper, and it has to be exactly to the other side. Try to make it as spot on. And then you just cut the groove in and brown it. And if it's a sad face if you stand it up, but it's a happy face if you turn it upside down. Alright, so now we'll start working with the fiberglass now that we have the stave done. There. This one's cut in half, and these two are full length, 4 feet. Wind's blowing. Alright, and then you mark it to the top here. Well, to the knock that you sawed in with your file. And then the other one, which I'm flipping, I'm gonna put it this way because the other spike is at that end. So you put it like that. And then you want to mark from the, you want to see how much it is from each end, which is 38 inches, or let's check the centimeters. It's 97 centimeters, and then this divided by 2 would be 19 inches, and then let's check how many centimeters. So this would be around 48.5 centimeters, and then these are 2 feet. So then you want to all mark it center line up. So here and here. And now that they're all marked center line up, you're going to take your tape. And with the tape, you want to use as little tape as possible. And I can't exaggerate this more. You want to use as little tape as possible, otherwise it's not going to fit inside the bow, which this will go inside. Alright, so let's go. So wait, let me just mark this one part. Alright, so 19 centimeters is where I'm gonna have to mark all. So I gotta mark it all at 19 centimeters. I was knocking against that. Alright, so let me just mark it. Alright, so let's go, come here, and then I'll show you how it should look. Alright, so they're all marked and they're all lined up with the center line. And so this one's marked here and that one's there. And this is all marked center line up, which is gonna show you how you have to do it. And then this should be enough tape.
Grass on the tape.
Yeah, grass on the tape don't matter. Then you just take it, try and get it as tight, and let's see. Alright, just get it as tight using as little tape. And I'm gonna get the other end right here. I'm gonna put it over here. And then you could use your teeth or a knife. I'm just cutting it here. I'm going to tell you guys how much the draw weight is at the end. Alright. Oh. Yeah, this is bad. I'm just putting it on my water bottle. Alright, this is good. Here. And then I'm just getting it as much and as tight as possible. Alright, so now that we got it on, we're gonna put it inside the bow. Now we're mostly finished, and there's one thing I want to warn you about. When you're cutting PVC pipe, it will slide. So when you're cutting the notches in, don't get upset if it's not perfect, because that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna slide as it should. Alright, so now let's look at the end, in here, and then in this side. And then one optional part is, if you want to have a nice grip on your bow, you weigh it out on your hand. If it's not leaning, you could wrap tape on this or cut a groove here to rest your arrow. And then now we will do this part. So you're gonna want to string your bow first. I just almost forgot this one part. You take your loop, which is a bow line knot that I'm using, and I'm just putting it on one end. This one is good. Alright, so now we got it on one end, and we hold it up like this. Take it on this end, and you want to go put your, I'm holding it with my left hand, and I'm putting my left leg over, and then you don't want to wrestle it with your hand. You don't want to use your bicep, so I wouldn't be using my bicep. I'm gonna lean into it, and this is gonna be kind of hard. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna bend it here. This is very hard. It's just the hardest part is putting the loop onto the PVC pipe. Otherwise, I'd be able to do it a lot easier if I'd be using a bigger loop. But let's just go. There we go. We got it. I haven't been, this is then this bow. Now I'm gonna tell you how the draw weight is. This will be around 35 pounds, maybe 40 pounds. And the scariest part when you're shooting this is, what if the knot comes loose and it snaps back? Because if you're using anything rougher than this, you want to be careful, because I like to use paracord because the paracord is not going to cut you if you, if the knot comes loose, which if you use a bowline knot, it's not going to come loose. And then there you go. Okay. And you're going to use this, and we're going to go shoot this at the target. Alright, so I'll see you at the target. Alright. So I'm back here, and I've got my bow, and we're going to be shooting it. It just has some old bags filled with, for probably now, compost. Right here. So first, we're going to be shooting this arrow. I was practicing a little with it. The tip snapped while I was using glass, and these are my handmade primitive arrows. This is my first time it was actually making arrows, but I can shoot the bow pretty good, but I will, this is the first time, I'll be shooting this bow, so I pulled it back, and I shot it. Alright, come closer and let's go see how deep that penetrated. Alright, so it penetrated to right here. Cool.
Halfway.
Yeah, I was more than halfway. Alright, so now let's shoot my micro arrow. This one, I didn't find a name. I was flint napping for fun. That was kind of my first time flint napping. And this is micro arrow. And there's two ways to shoot. Either with your two fingers, or you could pinch it, or you could put your finger like this, pinch it with your thumb. I'm shooting with the two-finger one, and then I always just lean my bow because it's easier for me. Where did that go? I didn't even aim that time. And I'm assuming that, it held together pretty nice, even though the pine pitch glue I was using during making this one was too weak. Or you can use any other natural adhesive. Alright.
One last shot
with
that one.
Aiming. What?
Do a redo.
Yeah, I'm redoing this one. We're gonna shoot more with these. Alright, so let's go. Let's see how this one. And these arrows were used by native and ancient people to hunt even big animals. Alright, so right here, let's move it out. How it's holding together. I want this deep into the bag.
That's like two-thirds.
Yeah, it's like 2/3 of. And now, my favorite arrow I made. This is
the yellow arrow.
Well, this is a Greek arrow. It was a heart-shaped arrow. And if you're gonna be using this for hunting, find out what's the legal arrowhead size to hunt in your state. If you live in the U.S., otherwise, if you then get a hunting license, if you don't need a hunting license in your country, go ahead and hunt. But you can just use this for fun too. Oh my gosh.
What happened?
Alright, so I don't know what happened actually when that was happening. I'm fine though, even though it scraped my hand.
I was expecting
I don't think it's deep enough in. Yeah, something's wrong with this. Something's wrong with this arrow.
I thought it was shooting fine before.
It was shooting fine before, but so
try
I think
one
this
last time.
Yeah, let's try one last time.
If not, you could use a different arrow.
This is probably what's wrong with this arrow is that the knock at the end of the arrow isn't deep enough. So yeah, exactly that. I didn't want to pull it even back far enough because I know it slap against my wrist. So let's keep going. Let's shoot
use the red one.
Yeah, the red one came out
works
really
the
good.
best.
I like to paint my arrows as well. That just one, and
tip came off.
the tip came off, and also breaking. So let's pull out. Here's one micro lift. Oh, all the micro lifts fell off. So this goes.
Oh wait, I found something.
Oh, I just threw that micro lift in. Alright, so that just shows.
That's sticky.
Yeah, the pine pitch glue. Alright, so that just
sticky.
shows if your natural adhesive isn't strong enough, how this can fall off. or if you get one thing wrong, you could potentially kill yourself or something, injure yourself. If I'd be using, if this would be a much rougher cord, thankfully I'm using paracord. If that would be a much rougher cord, then I'd be shooting with that yellow arrow, it'd probably cut my hand. So just be careful when you're using stuff. Learn how to use the bow first before you start shooting. It's a lot safer. And oh, that wasn't the micro. The arrow. Oh, here's my micro. I forgot that I wasn't shooting the micro one. The tip shattered. On my red one, it shattered, but that doesn't matter. I could always fix it. All right. Now let's just shoot one last time.
Last shot.
Yeah. So this is the entry hole, which maybe about a centimeter. Alright, so let's open this. Oh, one of my microliths is coming out. So I didn't even measure how much that.
Oh, you almost stabbed me.
Yeah. Alright. So this one, microlith one, is held together nicely. This one I gotta fix, and I'll be showing you guys me shooting this one, and probably another video that I'll post. Alright. Or you could add it into this. Alright, so if you like this bow, and you want to learn more on how to shoot a bow, stay up to date with my channel. Or if you like other primitive and survival builds and all kinds of outdoor based videos, stay up to date with my channel. Alright, subscribe for more. Bye.